Music, radio, podcasts.
5 Live Boxing.
Welcome to a bonus pod in the week of a world title fight at a sold-out arena in Nottingham. Not something I've said for an awful long time, a sold-out arena in Nottingham. I'm joined by Eddie Hearn, the promoter of it, and also the promoter of the last time there was a sold-out arena in Nottingham. First of all, Eddie, Leigh Wood, Michael Conlan. I was talking to Jim Bentley, who's the producer, the main producer you got on the zone, and he said to me, when I looked down at the schedule 7 or 8 weeks ago that was here, and there was loads of big fights on it, loads of good fights, he said this was the one that stood out. And I absolutely agree with him. It's a special fight, this.
It is. It's a really good fight, but it's like the narrative as well, Bunce, isn't it? Which makes big fights and big occasions. Firstly, the narrative of the trainers. Yes. Ben Davison, fresh off a bit of controversy, not his fault, but off the Jack Catterall fight with Josh Taylor, Adam Booth in the opposite corner. The fans, 10,000 of them, probably 6,500, 7,000 from Nottingham, and 3,500 from Ireland.
And you'll know they're there.
A lot of noise. That just lends itself to a great atmosphere, and it's a 50-50 fight. You know, it's the kid that was expected to go on and become a world champion in Michael Conlan, a kid that's been given a lot of opportunities, but rightfully so because of his amateur pedigree, against the local boy who's done it all the hard way. Got chinned along the way. Yep. Came back,
as
had
you
to fight
pointed
for
out,
no money. Maybe I shouldn't have pointed that out, but it was back in 2014. But it's part of the Leigh Wood story. Yeah. A kid from Nottingham that used to buy a ticket to come and watch Carl Froch box, to dream of one day headlining here. And he's made it very clear that this isn't the end of the road in terms of, the pinnacle for him. He wants to go on and fight at a city ground. You've got Josh Warrington against Kiko Martinez for the world title in a couple of weeks. The winners could fight the winners, but a nice calmness about Leigh Wood. And we'll see on the night how that calmness unfolds, because it's going to be a cauldron in there on Saturday.
In all fairness, I do think that the people that call the boxer and the corner that can control themselves best in front of that crowd, because it's not just 9,000, Eddie. We've been with 20,000 that haven't had as much heart and passion, but this is a 9,000 making it sound like there's 60,000 and making it sound like they're actually on your back going into the ring. And it's a simple case of, can Leigh Wood reach those heights he did last summer in the Garden when he beat Kenzu, which in a fight he wasn't meant to win. Let's get that right. We're all looking back on that like it was a foregone conclusion. Absolutely rubbish. And is it too soon for Michael Conlan? And it depends on which one of those two camps you sit in.
I think it's going to be an explosive fight, because I think both guys. Leigh Wood has tremendous power. Michael Conlan is a very clever fighter, can punch with speed and in combinations as well. And I actually see this fight ending in stoppage. A lot of people talking about Leigh Wood by stoppage or Michael Conlan on points. I'm not sure. I think both guys are capable of doing either. But I do expect, with the atmosphere, with the occasion, with the power of Leigh Wood and the hand speed of Michael Conlan and the combination punching, I see this fight ending by stoppage. And it's a massive moment for both.
It's a massive moment for both. And I think it just shows it's really mad that they're together now, because if you look back over their careers, and this is really odd, when Michael Conlan was being led to the ring in Madison Square Garden by Conor McGregor in a fur coat, I think a week later Leigh Wood was having something like his 14th fight against the guy who lost for the 61st time that night and making peanuts at a leisure centre. These guys have been in separate universes, and suddenly together they'll be under one roof.
Yeah, that again goes down to the narrative of the fight, and it's like, how tough is Michael Conlan? How good is Michael Conlan? I think a lot of this fight depends on those factors. Michael Conlan, it's hard to say he's been given everything as a pro, because as a fighter he's had to come through the amateur system and he's put his heart and soul into the sport.
But compared to Leigh Wood,
absolutely.
he has.
But sometimes your amateur pedigree can reward you with those opportunities. Yeah. But Michael Conlan's not had it tough yet as a pro. No, now maybe he wants to have it tough, but we just don't know. Leigh Wood, we know, has come through adversity. But how good and how tough is Michael Conlan? That's what I think this fight's going to come down to, because if he's not tough enough and he's not good enough, he'll get knocked out on Saturday night. And that could happen. Or he may be a special kid, a special talent. But one way or another, we're going to find out on Saturday.
And just quickly, one or two of the fighters on the undercard. I love the fact that Terry Harper's back and she's up a few pounds. Still looks like she could go up a few more pounds. I'm really happy about that. And she's really sensible. And I love that story told about a nana, with a nana saying, well, it's only £5. You still look really skinny. I think it's a hard fight for her. But I've got to tell you, Eddie, all the fights you've been overseen and rubber stamped the matches, the fight between Sandy Ryan and Farias is absolutely off the scale. You've never okayed, ever, a fight for a 3-bout novice against an opponent as good and as dangerous as Farias. I put that to you. Ever.
Yeah, and
I
would like to make it clear on air right now that I didn't rubber stamp it, and I don't always have.
I don't blame you.
I know, but I just said to the Paul Reddy and the guys and Clifton Mitchell, I said, look, I've watched Farias. Yeah. I've watched her have a war with McCaskill that was a split decision for the Unified World Championship. I've seen her fight Cecilia Brackhouse. I've seen her, in all these fights. She does not stop for 10 rounds. Sandy Ryan is an outstanding prospect. She had 3 fights against 3 very average opponents.
3 women she was meant to beat comfortably, yeah.
And now this is a whole nother level. Oof. But she's got something about her, Sandy Ryan.
Yes.
This is either going to look like a tremendous piece of matchmaking for a global talent in Sandy Ryan or a really, really stupid move. Oh. But I love it, don't you?
No.
We'll be sitting there on Saturday going, here we go. I mean, we've got Kevin Ajako in a great fight. He's a great Belfast talent. Terry Harper back. Gary Cully against Vasquez and loads of other stuff. But for me as well, I do look at Sandy Ryan against Erica Farias and say this is the one that I'm actually most looking forward to on the undercard.
Ed, just a quick little run through a shopping list of bits and pieces for you, if I can. AJ has a trainer, that's official, but of course we have no idea what Usyk's going to be doing because of his action on the front line, on a real front line. When might we hear something about what AJ's doing? Just a ballpark figure.
I spoke to Alex Krasuk this morning. I've been reluctant to really get in touch because I mean it's just
they're busy.
The last thing they're thinking about at the moment is fighting. But I said to Alex, we got to make our move, and one thing we're not prepared to do is let the opportunity to fight Usyk go away because AJ wants to regain his world heavyweight titles, but he also needs to fight. So I said to Alex Krasuk today, look, speak to Usyk, and for us, if we can't fight in May or early June, we would like an interim bout before we go into the Usyk fight. And AJ's idea of an interim bout is very different to mine. Buncey, an interim bout while you're waiting should be a nice little stroll in the park. He's messaging me saying, what about Wilder? What about Otto Wallin? What about Luis Ortiz? What about Joe Joyce? I mean, but this is AJ all over. If you look at his resume, fights. He's never had an easy touch. No. I think now's the time to have an easy touch.
Why not?
He doesn't. He wants to prepare, and maybe Ortiz, maybe while in that southpaw, gearing him up for Alexander Usyk, what might be a couple of months later as well. But I expect if he does have an interim, knowing Anthony Joshua, to him to have a real fight. And he's really pumped at the moment. He's in great shape. His back's against the wall a little bit. He wants to fight. He's like a caged lion. And again, we'll give Usyk the respect and the time that he needs. But AJ wants to get back to the ring in the summer. And but as I said, the most important thing is to make sure that he rematches Alexander Usyk. He's turned down a lot of money not to, and he's not about to let that opportunity go.
So if Usyk, if the word back is that Usyk's going to be busy, occupied, understandably, so would an AJ quotes interim fight be in that same time span, that May, early June?
End of May, first week of June, something like that. Okay. I don't know. Back at Spurs, O2, Vicarage Road. Yep. He wants to fight. He hasn't been that active recently because of the pandemic, and he wants to get back in the ring. He's ready to go. He feels tremendous, and he wants to prove that he's the best heavyweight in the world, and he can do that by a good win in the summer and then hopefully beating Alexander Usyk later in the year.
And Eddie, and finally, and thanks so much for your time here. It started off with slippers, then it went to pajamas, then it went to robes. Is there no end to this bromance between you and Saul Canelo Alvarez? He's lined up for fights, but more than that, people don't really want to know about the fights. They want to know just about. I mean, have you been out pony riding together? I mean, where does it end? Where does it start?
I've got to stop with the public cuddles because
well, it's him. It's him.
Yeah, I'm going to stop saying I love Canelo Alvarez, but it's just, I was sat next to him in San Diego, and he's screaming at Julio Cesar Martinez. He's up, and it's the passion, the love for boxing, and it's so infectious, and the two biggest stars in boxing are Anthony Joshua and Canelo Alvarez, and I represent both of them, and I'm very, very lucky to do so, and especially to represent an American superstar in Canelo Alvarez, and his love and his passion for the game is very infectious. Yeah. And there's a lot to be said about great energy. Yeah. And Canelo Alvarez has great energy. Yeah. So quite frankly, Buncey, I don't care what anyone says. No. I love him.
I'm on your side, son. Just quickly, I mean, I had a fantastic time at the Caleb Plant fight with Alvarez, where he was brilliant. He bent over backwards to me. He did fantastic interviews. He was great. And he talked lovingly about fighting in English, about fighting in Britain. I mean, where is there possible windows? Because it's not a joke. I know he wants to.
Yeah, well, that's December, hopefully. I mean, look, he's got Dimitri Bivol on May the 7th. He's got Gennady Golovkin in September. And then he wants to fight John Ryder in London, who's his mandatory, or Makabu in Mexico. two things I'd love to do with Canelo. One is to bring him to the UK, and two is to do 100,000 plus in Mexico. It would just be wild. So he definitely wants to fight. Yeah, of course. He definitely wants to fight in the UK, and hopefully we can make that happen.
Eddie, listen, thanks very much. I'm going to go and grab hold of the fighters here, and let's look forward to Saturday night. Conlan against Wood. It's a special night. It's a special fight.
Cheers, Bunsey.
So thanks, Eddie. Eddie, I'm going to wander off. I know that Leigh's here. Leigh, I know you're hungry and it's your schedule and you've got to go and do what you've got to do. When I spoke to you a few weeks ago, when we were here in this same building, you were very relaxed. Well, I was expecting to find you a little bit edgier. Well, you're even more relaxed now than you were 6 weeks ago. How's that work?
Absolutely. I put the work in. Throughout this whole build-up, the press conference in Nottingham, the press conference in Ireland, the press conference today, I feel I've remained the same. I've said the same things. My attitude's been the same. My mindset's been the same. Whereas Mick's been up and down. He's been out of character. In Nottingham, he was a bit rattled, you could say, aggressive sometimes. Then we went to Ireland, he was calmer. He was more chilled, he was relaxed, having a laugh at a joke. And now he's back here, he's quite quiet. I see straight through that confidence. I see straight through it.
You think there's a weakness there?
I just think he's overconfident. He's trying to convince everyone he's confident. Why? If you're confident, sit down and shut up, smile, go get the job done Saturday night, like myself. Why do you need to convince everyone that you're confident? Art of war. When you're strong, seem weak. When you're weak, seem strong.
I mean, you're not the first person that said something along those lines to me today. And it seems to be, this is the way that people are talking about the fight, Leigh. You tell me how you see it. They're talking about the fight this way. We'll find out. It's all about we'll find out what Mick Conlan can do. We'll find out how good Mick Conlan is. We'll find out if all the hype about Mick Conlan. No one I've spoken to, and I'm telling you the truth here. I've got no reason to lie to you. You know, I've known you a while and I've covered your fights for longer. It seems to me it's all about what Mick Conlan can do. What about what Leigh Wood can do?
Not too loud. We don't want them. We don't want them to hear. We don't want them to hear that because I like to stay under the radar. I like to get rid off. Is a big puncher, but can't make a box. Or Kanzui, you know, he had a long time out the ring. Yeah. We like to stay under that radar. We like to get overlooked. I can box. I can fight. I'm fit. I'm 100% more determined than most fighters you come across. Disciplined to hell. I ain't got here by a fluke. And they'll look at Mick Conlan in it. On Saturday night when I beat him, they're probably going to say, look, he wasn't as good as we thought. But that's just going to push me into my next fight to do it all over again.
Listen, he is that good, OK? He should have had 2 Olympic medals. He got a European Amateur Championship, he got a World Amateur Championship, he got Commonwealth Games. He fought the best amateurs in some of the harshest and hardest places. He's a really good fighter. Don't worry about that.
Hopefully I get the prop for beating him then.
No, that's why I'm getting out there. That's why I'm getting out of there. Let me just remind you of something. Just when he was being walked to the ring by Conor McGregor, for his debut at Madison Square Garden, McGregor had a fur coat on. You were about to fight a guy who was going to lose for, I think, the 61st time, right? About the same week. You two have been on, I wrote about this in the Boxing News, you two have been on 2 different roads, but you're together now. It makes me chuckle.
Yeah, and I would have given my arm my leg to be in bigger fights at the time. Why am I fighting these kind of kids? Why am I fighting a journeyman? I used to say to management, look, I want to be in a fight. I want to be in a title fight. Take your time. We'll take your time. Take your time. And I'm like screaming for it. And then, you know, it's just one of the things, you know, management and politics of boxing is crazy. And even to this day, I will never understand why it is how it is. But I think going forward, on that note, there should be more competitions, more tournaments at every single level. Like the Golden Contract, it plateaued me and pushed me forward.
Pulling people together, forcing them to have good fights.
At every single level, every title level, British title level, European and world.
Nearly 10,000 in the Nottingham Arena. It's an arena you've fought in. It's an arena you've been at to watch Carl Froch. How many more do you think would have been there? If it was 5,000 bigger, would you have sold those tickets?
I could have sold them 3 or 4 times over. People have been pulling out this week. My auntie's been on my tickets. Bless her. Thank you to my aunt Sue.
Your auntie's been on your tickets?
Yeah, my aunt Sue's in
charge of tickets.
Yeah, thousands she's done. And when people pull out, you know, I pass the number on. She sells them within hours. There's a group chat. We've got about 30 people in there that sell a lot of tickets around because they've followed me through. I've always done my own tickets since turning pro, small or boxing. So people always come to me for tickets. So then I pass them on, and we've got a right little setup.
I tell you what, it might be a world title fight, and it might be a really big world title fight, and it might be a sellout. But it just feels like, I don't know, with Aunt Sue involved as well, it feels like a bit of a family affair.
Absolutely, family, friends, everyone's involved, you know, and I'm not one of them kids that, you know, I'm here now, then I'll do it a different way. My feet are on the ground, I do things how I've always done things, and I'm going to do the same thing on Saturday night.
Great to hear. Leigh, thanks very much. Enjoy yourself Saturday night.
Cheers, thank you.
No, thanks. So up on stage, in fact, we're behind the stage here. So to my right's the sort of the back of the backdrop with the stage details on. I'm going to go over here, and Michael Conlan's just having a drink, sitting with his brother, Jamie. Michael looking very, very serious. It's a big night. It's a big fight. Michael, thanks very much for your time. 6 or 7 weeks ago, you're a bit more relaxed. It's just time to get in the ring and do the business now, isn't it?
Time to get the job done. I'm very, very focused. As you've seen here today, I have no need to talk any nonsense. I'm here to fight, and that's it.
And I'm going to keep on going back to it because you keep on going back to it. Why do they think you've never been in this situation before? When you fought in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, and you fought in those places against fighters you knew you were not going to get the decision against. Why do they still think that for some reason you've had this, this lovely, easy career?
I don't understand it. They don't understand the journey, and that's all it is. It's a journey. If they were able to do it, they would have done it. But the simple matter of the fact is they weren't. So it doesn't bother me. They can think whatever they want to think. Saturday night, I this guy up.
And it's 9,000 people in there, and I know what it's going to be like in there. It's going to be special.
Yep, it's going to be special. And I'm not lying when I say there'll be more Irish. And if there's not more Irish numbers, there will sound like there's more Irish by tenfold anyway.
As you're going into this, as you're just now, hours away from it, does it feel different to you than anything's ever felt in the past, Michael? Does it feel different?
No, I've been in this position many times before, fighting for many major belts, titles in the amateurs, and now we're here in the professional game, just doing the same thing I've done many, many times and been successful at many, many times. I've had bigger pressures than this. I've been under more scrutiny and more pressure than what I'm going to face. I've faced better fighters than this, and I know my ability, so I'm very confident. My preparation has been unbelievable, and I can't wait to go in there and show Saturday night how great I am.
So Eddie Hearn, Conlan and Wood with their thoughts and feelings about Saturday night. Me personally, it's one of those type of fights where if I could sit there with my feet up, I'd probably enjoy it as much. It's got that type of feel to it. So Leigh Wood against Michael Conlan for the WBA Featherweight Championship of the World from a sold-out Nottingham Arena, live on 5 Live, 10 p.m. on Saturday night. And the winner of that, well, we either have a massive fight in Belfast or we have Leigh Wood outdoors at his beloved Nottingham Forest ground. It's a special, the winner, whatever happens. If it's a draw, we get a rematch. Great. If it's a tight decision, we probably get a rematch. It's win-win. I'm going to try and grab one or two of the people from the undercard now. I'm going to fucking grab hold of... I can see Terry Harper over there. Let me go and find Terry Harper. Terry Harper, listen, thanks for joining. I love that story you told about your nana when you explained to her that you put on the weight. Just tell me the story again.
Yeah, she used to come mad at me all the time saying, "Oh, you're too skinny. Oh, you look poorly. I wish you'd just move up weight." So I think my nana was very happy when I did tell her that we made the choice to move up weight. But when I said it's only £5, she's like... Is that enough? Is that going to be enough? And still now she's like, "Oh, you're still looking skinny." But do you know what? I feel like a completely different person and full of energy, full of life. And I feel like the old Terry's back and I'm excited to be here.
It's been a really hard year or so, hasn't it? I mean, what with the hand injuries back to back and then the defeat and the nature of the defeat. It's been a tough period for you, Terry. Hard period.
Yeah, but do you know what? I feel like I've had a good team around me, a good support system, and I kind of just with the cards I've been dealt, I just got on with it, and like you've got no other choice, yeah. So like before that, there's your pandemic, and then obviously the hand injury. You just kind of roll with it because you've got no other option, and it's about staying positive and focused and just knowing there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel, and here we are. This is the light at the end of the tunnel, and yeah, like I said, I'm excited to get out there Saturday night. It's
been brilliant attitude, and I must admit, I did find it, and I shouldn't laugh, but the day after the defeat, when, you know where I'm coming with it, when Steffi said, "That's it, we're in trouble in the business, Terry's back down the chip shop," and then you came back with "That's it, I guess I'm back down the chip shop," which I've just thought was such a great way to deal with losing your unbeaten record and losing your world title in such a shock. I thought that was brilliant. That was a great attitude.
Yeah, it's the saying, if you don't laugh, you'd be crying, but... do do you know what? A few weeks I was down after the fight, but I kind of picked myself up, dusted myself off, and now I'm the running joke at home with the football girls and that. They're always having the banter and the jokes about me and my loss and stuff like that. But I feel that's what you need sometimes. You can't take yourself too serious, and do you know what? It's character building. That's what I see it as, character building.
And the mad thing is, the real mad thing is, as you said, you were concerned, you were only half joking, that you thought the fans might go away, but the fans have come out in even bigger numbers.
Yeah, great support as always. Can't thank everyone enough, to be fair. I thought, that's it. I've lost all my fans, but like I said, I feel like I've gained more, and I feel like people can relate more to me now. I've showed everyone that I'm human, and like everything's not perfect in life. We have setbacks, and I'm just here to show everyone that it's about how you deal with these and how you come back stronger.
Absolutely brilliant. Terry, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.
Enjoy yourself on Saturday night.
I will do, thank you.
Terry Harper there, just to say, Terry Harper fighting up at lightweight, where she maybe should have moved earlier, but hey-ho, that's just the way it works. She's fighting Yamila Belen Abalande. It's not an easy fight, but it's a fight that she should win. Certainly win on paper. Now, if fights are measured on paper, let me just grab hold of Sandy Ryan here. Sandy, if you were a man and you were matched with another man who had the record of your opponent, people would be saying that's the greatest match and the hardest match ever made. It's ridiculous, I'm telling you now.
Yeah, they wouldn't do it, would they?
They wouldn't do it. I mean, listen, your brother Dave, who you give a lot of stick to, right, in his third or fourth fight, he would never have fought someone like this.
No.
So why have you taken it? What have you seen that I can't see when I look at a record? And I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I just know my capability and my ability to beat her. She's coming. She's game, isn't she? And
she is game, yeah.
It can be a tough fight, and but I'm getting the win.
Her 5 defeats, okay. Now she's lost to boxing royalty. Celia Brækhus, right? Yeah. Delphine Pursoon, twice to Jessica McCaskill, and in the last fight to Michaela Mayer. Wait for it, all on points. And 3 or 4 of those were fairly competitive.
Yeah. Put some respect on my name.
I'm putting too much respect on your name. I'm saying this is a bold piece of matchmaking, and I understand that you and Clifton have seen something, but Sandy, it's a really hard fight. I know you probably think you've been in with better amateurs at different tournaments around the world. But this is such a test, and Eddie's right. After this, you can only go on to a world title within about 2 fights.
Yeah, it is a very big step up, but this is what I'm here for. And I know a lot of people do a lot of talking and that, but then they want to be matched, like, padded, and I'm just like, but I know what I'm capable of, and I want to be the best, so let's start beating the best.
So you're in a situation where you win this and you fight someone else like this, and then you get one of the light welterweight world champions, or super lightweight, as you call it. So within about 10 fights, you could, in theory, have had 2 or 3 world title fights. Fast track.
Yeah, that's the plan, really. A few more fights this year and get a title in there. And then, yeah, because I've got a lot of ambitions for the sport, and let's just get it going now. You're
28 still. You're 28, aren't you? So you're still young. I mean, so many of the women are 32, 33, 34. So you've still got all of those years in you. One thing, I can't see how you end up having 25 fights in this business. You see my point?
Yeah.
Because everything's fast-tracked. I can't see that. Or can you see it?
I'm not sure about 25 fights.
But 15 or 20?
I want to have a kid.
At some point.
At some point, yeah. That's why, I'm in there. I'm in here. I want to beat the best. I want to get the titles, cash in, have a nice family, and be successful and inspire the next generation.
And you know what, Sandy, that's just about all any fighter, male or female, can ask for. Get in, get the money, get out, have a family, and inspire the next generation. You have a great relationship with Clifton Mitchell, who I've known an awful long time. But can you ease up a little bit on your brother? You're giving him too much stick. You're brutalising him on Twitter. You're brutalising him. You've been doing it for about 4 or 5 years now. Give him a break, can you?
Oh, it's just all banter, though. It's all jokes aside. But, no, I love my brother. He's with me in fight weeks. And, we've got a nice small circle. Cliff, the boss, and that's why I feel like I've got a great team, and yeah.
Now, let me ask you this, throwing it ahead. Now, women move all over weights. You saw what Natasha Jonas did the other day. She went super feather. She jumped above your weight, jumped another weight, went to light middle. Down the line, and I know you're an athlete, and there's, you're not carrying anything as such. Could you see yourself going up if there was an opportunity, if there was a fight?
100%, and that's in my mind already, because I don't want to be doing this weight for years.
Yeah.
A year max. I want to be doing this weight. That's why I'm going at it fast. And then I want to move up to Walter, 147.
So Sandy Ryan there in a brilliant fight, a winnable fight, but a fight that would be, it's just an incredible marker. As I say, hand on heart, I can't think, and I spoke to Mick Costello a bit earlier, I can't think of a fight involving a man where there was an opponent like this in the full fight. Hey-yo, fantastic stuff. Well, so that's it from Nottingham. So just a reminder, it's 10 o'clock, Saturday night, live on 5 Live, from the Nottingham Arena, Leigh Wood against Michael Conlan. We'll be joined at ringside by Skye Nicholson, who just last weekend, or last Saturday actually, made her debut, a winning debut in San Diego. We'll talk to Skye, and you'll understand why when you hear her. She's brilliant, to be perfectly honest with you, and she can fight a bit as well. Leigh Wood, Michael Conlan. Is it too much too soon, or is it simply a case of the right man at the right time? Is it the Leigh Wood story, or is it a Michael Conlan story? We've heard from both today. We've heard both sides. It's a special fight. It's an intriguing fight. It's a big fight. I can't wait for it. So that's 10 p.m. on Saturday on 5 Live. And, of course, I probably should now apologise for there being no pod on Monday. That's a story for another day and another night. Thanks very much. Join us on Saturday night. Hope you've enjoyed it.
Let's get ready to rumble! 5 Live Boxing.